Someone cannot stop thinking about you right now. You may not be able to be with them today, but somewhere inside you, you already know this feeling is real. Even when your mind tries to brush it off, take a slow breath and stay with these words for a moment. What you are about to hear is not random. It did not just appear in your head by accident. The person who keeps showing up in your thoughts did not arrive there for no reason. There is a quiet, powerful bond between you two. It is a bond that neither of you can fully explain, and neither of you can simply walk away from. This is not a passing thought that fades in a few minutes. It is something steady, something deep, something that refuses to be ignored no matter how busy your day gets. They feel drawn to you in a way that is strong, but held tightly in check. It is a feeling they have never fully allowed themselves to have until now. And yet something keeps the two of you apart. Something makes this connection feel like it is not allowed to move forward right now. Understanding why this is happening can change the way you see every thought, every feeling, and every memory you share, even with distance between you. Someone out there is completely wrapped up in thoughts of you. But this bond is not something either of you feels free to act on yet. This situation points to two important truths you need to understand clearly. Take one more slow breath before you continue, because this message reached you for a reason. If any of this feels familiar, let it settle for a second before moving on. You did not stumble onto this by chance. The person on your mind right now is there for a reason. Someone connected to your life, or someone who keeps returning to your thoughts uninvited, shares a real and deep bond with you. This is not a small or short-lived feeling. It is not light, and it will not fade quickly. It is steady. It is calm. It sits quietly in the background of their life, always present. They are pulled toward you, but not in a loud or obvious way. It is a careful, controlled kind of feeling, something they have never let themselves feel this openly before. And still this bond feels completely off limits. Not because love is missing, but because something stands in the way. That block points to two important truths. These truths explain why the pull feels so strong, why there is space between you, and why neither of you can fully move forward or fully let go. Before we look closer at what those truths mean, sit with what you are feeling right now. If your breathing has changed while reading this, that is worth noticing. Here is the first thing you need to accept. When a connection feels limited or held back, it does not mean the feeling is weak. Often it means the exact opposite is true. Held back connections rarely start on the surface. They do not begin when life is easy and calm. They are not built out of boredom or empty time. They do not come from loneliness or a passing spark that fades on its own. They grow out of real recognition, something felt in the heart and turned over again and again in the mind. This person did not plan to feel this way about you. It built up slowly at first, then all at once. In the beginning, you were simply someone they noticed. Then you became someone they respected. Then someone they trusted. Then, almost without realizing how it happened, you became someone they could not stop thinking about. What makes this feel restricted is not a lack of real emotion. It is the circumstances, the timing, the responsibilities, the worries, the lines they have drawn for themselves that they are afraid to cross. This brings us to the first important truth. This person carries an inner struggle every single day because of you. They are not fighting against you. They are fighting their own feelings. They wake up already thinking of you, and almost right away they start listing reasons why they should not. They replay old conversations in their mind, then quietly scold themselves for smiling about it. They imagine what being close to you would feel like, then push the image away because wanting you feels risky. Not risky for their emotions, risky for the life they have built, risky for the values they have followed for a long time. For some people, this means they are already committed to someone else. For others, it is family pressure, cultural expectations, social duties, or personal boundaries they were taught never to break. Sometimes one of you is simply not free in a way that complicates everything. Instead of acting, they hold back. Instead of speaking, they stay quiet. Instead of moving closer, they watch from a distance. Here is something many people miss completely. Silence does not always mean the feeling is absent. More often, it means the feeling is so strong it becomes hard to control. This person is not calm when it comes to you. Their feelings run deep, but they only show that depth in private, in the quiet moments no one else sees. They do not speak because speaking might open a door they are not sure they can close again. They do not act because acting means facing consequences they do not feel ready for. They do not come closer because closeness would reveal things they have hidden even from themselves. There is an old psychological idea that whatever you resist tends to grow stronger. That is exactly what is happening here. Every time they try to push the feeling away, it grows more intense. Every time they pull back, the bond tightens instead of loosening. Every time they deny what they feel, it does not disappear. It sinks deeper and grows quieter, but it does not go away. Feelings that get buried do not vanish. They build strength as time passes. This explains the strange shifting energy you sometimes notice between you. If you feel this connection right now, sit with that thought for a moment before reading on. It explains why you sense them even when they are physically far away. It explains why thoughts of them arrive out of nowhere, without any effort on your part. It is why your mood can shift for no clear outside reason. You might feel their presence even in quiet, ordinary moments. You might notice something unfinished passing between you. That happens because hidden feelings do not fade. They wait for their moment. There is a well-known idea that until we face the hidden parts of our own mind, those parts keep shaping our lives from behind the scenes, and we end up calling that shaping fate. Much of what connects you right now is unspoken and unresolved. Because it stays hidden, it works underneath the surface, creating tension, strong emotion, and quiet inner conflict. This person carries you in their private thoughts, while the rest of the world only sees someone calm and composed. They may look settled and steady on the outside, but inside there is a constant pull in two directions, wanting, followed almost immediately by holding back. This is not because you mean little to them. It is because you mean so much that it creates fear. They worry about disrupting lives around them, about breaking from their own values, or starting something they will not be able to stop once it begins. If you have felt this kind of quiet pull with someone, you already understand what this means. That inner conflict is exhausting to carry. It is part of why this connection can feel heavy, even when nothing has actually happened between you. It is part of why the pull remains strong even without direct conversation. It is part of why distance never seems to bring real peace. There is another well-known idea worth mentioning here. When two people truly meet, something in both of them changes permanently, the way two substances change each other the moment they touch. You have already been changed by this. Both of you, whether you fully realize it or not, have been shaped simply by knowing each other. Something inside you shifted the moment you connected with them. This is not imagination. This is not a mistake. This is a bond that goes beyond ordinary logic and easy explanations, and that is exactly why time alone cannot erase it. It does not survive because of routine. It survives because of what it actually means. There is a saying that where real love exists, there is no need to control the other person. In this bond, control is not the goal, and power is not the driving force. That is part of why it can feel so confusing. There are no games being played here. There is no manipulation between you. There are simply two people who were touched by something they did not expect and do not know how to fit neatly into their everyday lives. As this understanding grows, one truth becomes clear. You are not a distraction. You are not a mistake. You cannot be replaced or copied by anyone else. You are part of a story that has already begun moving both of you toward a deeper and more honest understanding of who you really are. As that understanding continues to build, the full meaning of this restricted bond will keep revealing itself, slowly and gently, until the second truth becomes clear too. If you are still here, you are already among the few people willing to sit with something most people spend their whole lives avoiding. Most people scroll past messages like this, not because they feel nothing, but because it touches them too deeply. If something in you is stirring right now, let it. What comes next does more than describe a restricted bond and quiet love. It can change the way you understand yourself. This connection does not behave like an ordinary attraction. It does not weaken with distance. It does not disappear just because you think about it logically. It does not fade simply because it causes complications. Instead, it follows both of you quietly, like a shadow that belongs to neither person alone, but is created by what happens when two people truly connect. You might notice that even when life keeps you busy and pulled in other directions, this person returns to your thoughts without any effort from you. It is not because you are actively reaching for them. It is because something unfinished keeps rising back to the surface. The same thing is happening on their side. They might spend days looking completely unaffected. They might seem fully absorbed in work, family, and daily responsibilities, but the mind keeps returning to what feels unresolved. They remember how you made them feel truly understood without needing many words. They remember how easy it felt to simply be themselves around you. They remember the strange sense of having known you for a long time, and moments that meant far more than they expected. That is exactly why it unsettles them. Once someone feels truly seen at that depth, that experience cannot be erased. This is where many people misunderstand restricted connections. They assume distance means weaker feelings. The truth is often the opposite. Distance is not always caused by weak emotion. Sometimes it is caused by emotion that feels too strong to handle. This person knows that if they take even one step closer, they might not be able to return to who they were before. They sense that something permanent is waiting on the other side of full honesty, and they are not ready yet to take apart the life they have carefully built, even if that life no longer fits who they are becoming. So they choose control instead of openness. They choose the familiar setup instead of the full weight of their emotions. They choose a discomfort they already know, instead of a truth they do not yet trust. But there is a cost to that choice. Every time they push down what they truly feel, it does not disappear. It turns into something else inside them. It shows up as restlessness, as distraction, as a quiet emotional distance from people they should feel close to. They may start questioning relationships that once felt solid and safe. They may feel something missing without being able to name it. They may wonder why comfort that used to feel like enough no longer satisfies them. They may never say your name during these moments, but you become a quiet inner measuring point. You represent a kind of emotional honesty they have not yet let themselves fully live. This is why the connection always feels unfinished. It is not only about two people missing each other, it is about two lives standing at the edge of a change that cannot be avoided forever. You feel this too, even if you cannot always put it into words. Since this person entered your life, your expectations have shifted quietly, without any announcement. What you are willing to accept in a relationship feels different now. What you actually want has become clearer. What you once tolerated without thinking now feels empty or not enough. You may find you have less patience for connections that stay only halfway there. You are now far more aware of what real connection feels like, and that awareness did not come from nowhere. It came from recognition. This leads to the second important truth. This bond is not only about wanting someone, it is about waking up to something inside yourself. Some relationships are meant to build a shared future. Other relationships exist to wake you up to your own inner truth. This one belongs to the second kind, not because it can never grow into more, but because its main purpose is happening inside you first. You met this person at exactly the right moment, when something in you was ready to be moved, and they met you at the exact moment they were quietly questioning the life they had been living, even if they never said that doubt out loud to anyone. This is why the pull feels both powerful and confusing at the same time. You act like mirrors for each other. You reveal the parts of them they have kept hidden. They bring out sides of you that were waiting to surface. This kind of connection does not follow ordinary timing. It does not rush. It does not announce itself with clear, obvious signs. Instead, it slowly works on your priorities, your values, and your understanding of what actually matters. If this message reached you at the right moment, let that be enough for now. Notice how it feels to sit with these words instead of rushing past them. That is exactly why even silence between you feels full of energy, because something underneath it is still active. You might wonder why letting go feels impossible, why thinking it through logically does not end the feeling, why telling yourself nothing can happen does not actually bring peace. It is because this bond is not sustained by wishful thinking. It is sustained by a truth that has not yet been fully lived out, and a truth that has been genuinely felt cannot simply be forgotten or discarded. You are not only holding on to a person, you are holding on to a moment of emotional clarity that changed you, and they are going through the exact same process, even if they never admit it out loud. This does not mean you should wait forever. It does not mean you should put your life on hold. It does not mean giving up your present for a future that may never arrive. It means understanding fully what this connection is trying to show you. It is showing you how deeply your heart is capable of feeling. It is showing you what a connection that gives energy instead of draining it actually feels like. It is reminding you that real emotion goes beyond what is simple or risk-free, and it is doing the exact same thing for them, whether or not they are ready to admit it. What happens next cannot be forced or rushed. It cannot be sped up through wanting it badly enough. It cannot be changed through silence or through chasing them. This kind of bond only opens fully once honesty becomes stronger than fear. Until that moment arrives, it stays in a space in between, not gone, but not fully present either. It stays alive in thoughts, alive in feelings, and alive in the quiet moments when truth speaks softly instead of loudly. As time passes, the tension between who they have been and who they are becoming will keep building. The same thing is happening inside you. Eventually something shifts, because a mind that has truly woken up does not fall back asleep. When that shift finally comes, it will not happen simply because someone wanted it enough. It will happen because they finally became ready. Readiness rarely arrives with a dramatic announcement. It usually builds quietly through discomfort and a slow, clear understanding that something no longer fits the life being lived. For them, this often starts small. The roles they play begin to feel heavier than before. Duties they once accepted easily start to feel like limits. Familiar emotional patterns feel hollow even when everything on the outside looks fine. You are not the cause of that shift. You are the light that revealed what was already there. You did not destabilize their life. You simply illuminated the parts that no longer matched who they were becoming. That is exactly why this connection feels risky to them. Not because it threatens their everyday safety, but because it threatens the carefully maintained picture of the life they built. Comfortable lives are often held together by carefully protected illusions. Truth asks for responsibility. Truth asks for courage. Truth asks someone to face what they feel and decide whether they can live according to it. Many people are not ready to make that decision the moment the feeling appears, so they wait. They invent reasons to delay. They tell themselves it is a short phase that will pass. They tell themselves it is only in their imagination. They tell themselves that ignoring it hard enough will make it disappear. But real connections do not fade just because they are ignored. They turn into pressure instead, the kind that quietly builds until it can no longer be held down. This is why you might notice waves of closeness, followed by sudden distance. Moments when they seem fully present, followed by moments when they pull away without explanation. Times when you feel a strong pull even without a single word passing between you. That back and forth movement is not about uncertainty toward you. It is an internal struggle happening inside them. They stand at a crossing point between the person they have always been and the person they are slowly becoming. And on your side, you represent that same crossing point, the exact place where real change has already begun. Something just as important is happening within you as well. You are developing a kind of clarity you did not have before. You are learning to tell the difference between intense emotion and true deep alignment. You are discovering the real difference between surface-level attraction and a bond that connects at a much deeper level, and that understanding is something you now carry with you. Whatever happens next,